So I'm just going to show you a Google Doc. In the interest of time, because I do want you guys to work on our next tool, I'm just going to show you this Google Doc and how it can be used. So a Google Doc you can use with any text. It can be a Jewish text like it is here. Again, we're working with Sefer Bamidbar or Numbers with the text of the Meraglim story, again, the story of the spies. Or it can be used for Jewish holidays. It can be used for general studies in history, in science, in many different topics. And okay, so on a Google document, you have the opportunity to put material. Here, students were asked to look at some verses or some psukim. They were asked to come up with a hashtag that summarized the theme of the psukim and a Snapchat or a picture that kind of tied it together. So what's the beauty here? Your students can work in pairs, in 3 people, 4 people. It's very collaborative learning. And of course, you can provide for your students all of the images at the bottom of your document so that they don't have to be surfing the web. And I want to show you what this looked like after the 6th grade class had worked on this Google document. Now, these particular girls at Manhattan Day School had studied in depth Parshat Meraglim. They knew the story forwards and backwards. And we were looking at it through the eyes of modern day Meraglim and how people respond to the modern state of Israel in the lens of the biblical text. So the girls worked together in partnerships, and you're going to see now their work. And unfortunately, I apologize for the slowness here. It is a very, very hot day in Efrat with hot winds blowing on our electric lines, and that seriously affects our internet sometimes. But I want you to see what this looks like when it is completed. So you see here, this is our sample. I'm going to show you some of the girls' work, but in addition to the girls being able to work in chavrutot in groups of 2 or 3, examine together the verse, come up with a hashtag, come up with a picture, they were also able to comment on each other's work, which is something that the Google Doc allows for. So it's an extremely collaborative way for your students to look at texts or stories. And I want you to see that students see things in their own creativity and in their own interpretation. Because if you look here, you can see that more than one group of students picked the same illustration for completely different verses with completely different themes. But they were creating from their own ideas, and the Google Doc beautifully allows for visual learning, the breaking down of text. Again, it could be a Jewish text, it could be a secular text, and a tremendous amount of collaboration. So the Google Doc I was throwing in to show you guys very quickly. I appreciate we really don't have time to break it down because I want us to work extensively a little bit with our next tool, which is also a very collaborative tool. So before we move on, does anybody have a question or comment about Google Docs? Do you guys use Google Docs in your own teaching? Rachel, you're nodding your head yes. You want to share something about what you really enjoyed with the Google Doc? Love Google Docs. Okay, you want to share something that you really enjoyed?
I think it's also very helpful to use with multiple classes. So the grade as a whole could be doing a project that other students from different classes could check what other students in the grade may have thought on the same issue. So there's a lot of collaboration even outside the immediate class.